What's up, world? Lee here with sticks, strings, and other things. My teeny tiny little corner of the internet where I come to you every other week to chit chat with you about all of the crafty things that I have been getting my hands onto. This is episode 65, and I'm filming this on the 11th of July to be uploaded on the 12th. I'm doing something a little bit different with my light. We'll see if it works. I was constantly getting ring light in my eyes, and I have to have my glasses, so I'm trying something new. We'll see if I like it. We'll see if I don't. I don't know right now how I feel about it. Anyhow, if you are new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy. This is how it goes. If you are returning, you already know that. You do. Right. So, I'm coming to you from the glorious Pacific Northwest, where we've reached summer and it's been hot. I'm not a fan of hot. I'm really not a fan of hot when it's over 90 degrees and the air conditioning at work goes down. That's no fun. I'm really not a fan of it being hot, so people shoot off fireworks for days before and days after until 5 a.m. I'm not a fan of that either. Especially when it's illegal in my town. And there's a burn ban, which means people shouldn't be blowing anything up or starting fires at all, and they don't listen. Right. I have some lovely tea, as always. Today's tea is brought to you by Tea Madam, which is a tea shop in my area, and I am drinking their chocolate mint black, and it's pretty tasty. Though I think I've gotten spoiled with some other teas because most of my other teas have much bigger leaves. These have much smaller leaves, so it's more inexpensive, but it also leaves grit. And I've gotten very spoiled that my loose leaf tea is very, very big leaves. So, still tasty. But perhaps not as high quality as I have been drinking. No, that's good though. All right. Shall we get into it? I have some knitting and some stitching for you today. I have been trying some more crochet, but my hooking tension is tight. Would be one word for it. Holy crap, tight would be another word for it. I need to relax, and evidently I'm incapable of that right now. Oh, I should also mention what I'm wearing. I have on my rocket tee by, I forget who. I'll put it here. And it is a lovely, lovely little summer tee with obviously raglan increases over here. Whoop, whoop. You can see them. And it's got some mohair, so there's some fluff. Not that you can see it. So one stripe of fluff, one stripe of not fluff. So one stripe of fingering, one stripe of fluff. And, well, since one of the stripes is fingering, see, fingering, you can see right through the shirt. So obviously that means you wear something over it, but that was my plan anyway, was to wear it over dresses, and that is what I do. And depending on how the temperature goes, this may have to come off because it might be a little too warm. And so, yes, let's get into what have I been doing? Yes, what have I been doing? What have I been doing? I don't even know anymore. I have a finished object. Yes, I have finished my Rose City roller pair of socks. These are really my size. They're just so teeny and wee. Let me see if I can put them on my feet. These are Rose City rollers, and it is just a lovely little shorty sock that I did with last month's Farmer's Daughters Fiber Sock Squad sock set. But I didn't use the set, I only used the color, and this was the something hawk moth. Elephant hawk moth. And I had one of these done last time, and now I have two socks, which means it's finished. Yay! For which I'm happy. I also have a hoe. I do have a hoe. What is a hoe? A hoe is a half-finished object. It is living in this lovely Hokey Locatelli bag. These are my work socks. So these are the ones that occasionally there's not a lot going on at work, and so I get to stitch a lot. And I knitted a lot. So I finished one of my work socks. I don't think I had this finished last time. If I did, well, you get to see it again. It is just a broken rib pattern that I'm doing on a 64 stitch sock, doing just basic stuff. I am loving how, let me put it in front of my face. I am loving how the colors are not pooling. I love how they're kind of just all jumbled up, which was what I was trying to do. They somewhat stripe, but it all kind of gets wonderfully jumbled up in this broken rib that I did, which was the plan. And here is my other sock. Ah, yes, I have got it all the way through the heel turn. I need to pick up stitches and start on the gusset. And if I was a very smartly, I would pick up the stitches today so it would be ready for me for work tomorrow, so I wouldn't have to pick up stitches at work. But I'm probably not that smart today, so odds are very good I'll just pick up stitches at work. It's fine. I am using a skein from Big Little Yarn Co. I have had it in my stash for a while, which is why you can barely read the label. It has faded over time. And this is the Superwash Merino Mohair sock yarn base, which is something percent Superwash Merino, something percent nylon, 20% mohair. And the colorway is Twilight over Lake Leelanau. I'm serious, people. It's, oh, actually showing up better it shows up better on the camera than it does in real life. Well, ain't that delightful? Anyhow, it's a delightful color way, and I really like it. It's very autumnal, and I don't know, when I started I was very here for that, and now it's summer and I'm kind of over this pair of socks because I feel like I've been working on them forever. And I have been, and they're mohair, so I have mohair on my nose because that's how mohair works. I have been working on them forever at work, and I really feel like they are never going to end. Oh, I am using a size, heck if I know, probably a 2.25 millimeter. US, whatever that makes it. I prefer the millimeters sometimes. For the smaller sizes, I prefer saying the millimeter sizes, and then they get big enough, I start using US sizes. So yeah, I'm very confusing. I have been using this lovely little sock ruler that I got from Twice Sheared Sheep. It's a lovely little sock ruler, so you can measure your socks. But what I love about it, yes, it rolls. It rolls so you can shove it in your bag, because I have several sock rulers and they're all like this in length. Some of them are wider. Most of them are wider, in fact, but they're all big. And this one rolls up. Love it. That's living in there. So this can go. That over there. Now I can't throw things the way I'm used to. I'll throw it that way. That needs to go back into my work bag, so I have socks to work on at work. Otherwise I have to buy new needles and a new project at work, and that gets expensive after a while. All right, let's get into our whips. My whips. I have a couple. Right. Living in my knotting knitting sack. I love it, is my West Knits Vertices Unite shawl that I am doing out of Amanda Knits yarns that she did a Supernatural colorway club for. So I've been using those yarns. And I am doing this as part of a stitch along for Let's Hear It for the Boys, where you work on either yarn dyed by a guy, projects designed by guys or for guys, or you knit for a guy. Because we gotta We gotta represent our guy friends in the knitting world here, people. Our male knitters need more representation. Anyhow, this is a modular knit, and last time I had it, I had section 1 done. So this was section 1. And it was practically a shawl size already. And now I think that one's section 2. It is on some barber cord, knitter's barber cord things, so they're on hold because eventually you go back and you do a I-cord bind off for the whole thing. So part 2, part 3, part, I don't even know, part 4 right here, and I've started part 5. Whew. It is modular, like I said. I'm very much enjoying it. I'm loving the colors. They are lovely. But I have lots of stitches on hold here. I have stitches on hold here. And I'm knitting here. So this is part 5. I found it. Huh. This is part 5. And right, there are 6 parts. Plus the I-cord bind off. Like I said, this is a Stephen West shawl. It is one of his older ones. And it uses 5 skeins. 5 different colors. The cloth that I used had 6 colors. I just took one of them out because I didn't think it fit. And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. And it's going to be glorious and large and squishy and yay. I hope you're not offended by my needle stoppers. They're a little rude and a little appropriate. So that is that whip. Having issues today. I really am. I'm really having issues. Okay, so there's that one. The other knitting whip I've been working on lives in this bag by Bags by Awesome Granny, and I love the bees and the bee skeps on it. This is my Big Cozy Cardi by Andrea Mowry. The thing that will never end, I swear. It took me days. I had to get to 30 inches. 30 inches is all I needed, folks. 30. 30. And I measured 28 inches. No, it was 26. 26 inches. And then I stitched for an entire evening. An entire evening of knitting with no frogging. 0 frogging. And I laid it out. And I measured it again and it was 26 inches. So I get up the next day and I go, I'm going to defeat this today. Yes, I will. I will defeat this today. I will get to 30 inches. And I knit for the entire day. The entire day of knitting goes on. Again, no frogging. Constant knitting. And I lay it out. And I put it's 26 inches. How does that work? How? Anyhow, I eventually did get to 30 inches. So here it is. Last night, I made it to 30 inches. So I get to do the next part of this project, which is to wash and block this part so that you can sew it together into the weird shape that you do before you add the mohair color. Except this is Surrey. Before you add the fluffy collar, how about that? Because this is Surrey, not mohair. Before you add the fluffy collar, and then ribbing for the sleeve cuff things. Because you're not really adding sleeves, and you're not, just the way it's made, there are no sleeves, but you put cuffs. Nice ribbed cuffs so it holds onto the arm. Anyhow, I am making this out of Farmer's Daughter's Fibers Recollect in the colorway York. And look, oh yes, look at that stitch pattern. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, it is totally blowing out the color now. But you can see that stitch pattern. It is glorious. I also love the stitch pattern on the other side. As you can see, it's the back side because there's my ends, but oh, Isn't that just a glory? Oh, she has a sweater where this side is the facing side, the public side. I'm going to have to do that sweater later because I'm over this stitch pattern right now. Anyhow, I'm loving it. But yes, this is just a giant rectangle. And there is where I was last time. Doo, doo, doo. And that is all I had to put in. That's it. And it took days. Days. But now that I've shown you, boop, I can take my sloth off. And I'm probably going to try and wash and block this today. So that hopefully by this weekend I can have it dry so I can sew it together into the weird shape and start it. Oh, it's so squishy. It is so squishy. I'm really in love with this yarn. I did these on a yoink US size 4 3.5 millimeter needle, and I will be going down in size for the rest of it because that will be the Surrey and the ribbing, which will use a smaller needle size than the body. Words are hard today, people. When I get to life, I'll explain why my brain is just kind of like, yeah. This is the yarn I'm using. It's that Recollect by Farmer's Daughter's Fibers. And I really like this base, which is just 100% Rambouillet. And it's delicious. Oh, it's so delicious. Love. And that is all the knitting because I kept having to knit more on the Big Cozy Cardi because it never ended. Never ended. Ever. At this point, I just want the Big Cozy Cardi done so that I can start like 4 sweaters. And I refuse to have more than 1 sweater on the go at a time. But there are so many sweaters I want to make. So many. Cannot stand it. All right, let's get into the stitching. Yes, stitching. So what have I been doing in the stitching world? I just sadly crammed into this bag by, I think this is an Evertote. Yeah, this is an Evertote bag. And it is shoved in and abused. It's shoved in and abused in here. Living in here is my Mirabilia. This is Maidens of the Seasons 1 and 2. I am doing them both on 1 piece of fabric. This fabric is a 28 count Serendipity, I want to say, by Sugar Maple Fabrics. They're not in business anymore, so if I have the name of the fabric wrong, or the color wrong, it doesn't matter because you can't get it. I've been working on Summer, and I finished her dress. Oh, she looks so good. She's so good. She's so good. Oh, yeah. I'm just going to sit here and contemplate her for a few minutes. Okay. Contemplation over. I stopped because next up is her legs, which, yeah, there's this nice little spot right here, this empty space right here. That's where her legs go. And her legs are going to be over 1 skin because over 1 skin looks better, but it's a pain in the butt. And I have to finish the rest of her frame. The season name down there. I think there's a little bit more orangery on her. And then I will need to backstitch her. And then Summer will be done because I'm going to do all of the beads at the end. I hope to get this done this month. And yes, that spot is filled. It just doesn't look like it because of the color of the fabric. It's stitched, I promise. I didn't miss a spot. I'm loving her. And I just have autumn to do once I'm done with summer. Because, So pretty. So pretty. But I was working on her during the Fancy Folk Zoom that I was on, and a couple other days. The dress went really, really quick, and I'm hoping that the over one legs go quick too. We will see. If I do not get it done this month, which I may not, honestly, I will get it done in August. That is the plan. What else did I work on stitching wise? Oh, right. Living in this bag is the Scarlett House, a sampler for all seasons. And I'm catching it in that thing. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. And let's get out the fabric. I'm doing this on, I don't even know. What am I doing this on? 40 count Steinbeck by whoever makes Steinbeck. Is that Needle and Flax? I think that might be Needle and Flax. Yes, Needle and Flax. So I'm doing this on Steinbeck, 40 count, Needle and Flax. And oh yeah, when last you saw it, I had this box outlined and I had this lovely salt box house. And I think that was it. So since then, I have done all the rest. So I have my winter house done, I have my summer house done, and I have some of the words done. I can't see anything, so there we go. I worked a lot of this on a Zoom call on the 4th with Crafts and Books, and I'm blanking on her actual name. Steadfast Stitcher. I'm blanking on her real name. That's sad. Delight. I worked on this on the 4th, and amusingly, I was working on the summer house, and I did this portion and a little bit more. But I had to laugh because that was not my intention. I did not intend to work on anything patriotic on the 4th. That just happened to be where I was at. So I thought it was funny. I am a bit over halfway done. And so when this comes back out, I will finish up this whole words section and then do the last two houses. The spring and fall. I love it. I do. Absolutely do. You can see just how far I could get with my Q-snip. Yep, that's why I stopped where I did. And I didn't want to get stuck in half words because stitching a half a word really bothers me. Leaving it that way irritates me. And so I had to stop the words a little earlier so that I would make sure to not get stuck. Yep. All stitchers have quirks, and that is one of mine. Ah. And I have plenty of room. So much plenty of room on this fabric. I have these huge margins, and I'm like, I'm over halfway done. I'm going to have a nice chunk of this fabric over here that I can use for, I don't know, ornaments if I made them. Smalls if I work on them. Anyhow. I'm loving it. I'm using the NPI silks for this one. Hey, why are you stuck? So these are the NPI silks, and they are so pretty. I do not yet have all of them on there. There is a lavender color that I have not yet used. I'm guessing it's going to be in the spring house. So pretty. And this red, I love this red. It's coming up a little brighter. In real life, it's kind of this brickish red, which I like. So pretty. I did make one change to this project. I should be using a dark brown for most of the outlines, for all of the outlines and all of the words. There is a dark brown that I'm supposed to be using, and I much prefer the black color because that's what it looks like in the picture. texture, and that's what I liked the look of better on the fabric as well. So I pulled out some black silk from Ymir from Almond M&M's. I have a whole hank of Raven, so that is the black that I am using on here. So it is not all NPIs, it is mostly called for NPIs and then one alternate. The last thing that I was stitching on was a birthday start I did I think it was 2 years ago. And this is a Bristol Orphan sampler. It is Jane Rees, and it is done by the Scarlett letter. Oh, let me not get the shine in there. And she's still in my Q-snap because I'm still working on her. I want to finish up the alphabets and the numbers and the Roman letters. Roman numbers, not letters. They're letters, but they're Roman numbers, Roman numerals. Right. I want to finish those. Anyhow, when I had picked this up, I was working on this page here, and I had these 2 rows finished already. So I did this lovely row here, which is a 4-sided stitch. And then I did this one, these numbers, and then I popped over here and I just started the next page with the letter R. And then as far as I made it last night. I have finished all of this and the letter R and done. I thought I was going to do some more last night and just didn't. But that is where I am, and it's looking so good. This is on a 50 count. I don't know what cream color. I think it's a 50 count. It's either a 48. It could be a 48. It's a 48 or a 50 count. And I am using a bunch of Vicky Clayton's silks from many, many years ago, because I kitted this up many, many years ago and finally started it a couple of years ago. And then I have all this stuff. Oh, can't wait to get back to this. That will be what I will be working on later today. That is all of the projects that I've been working on. So let's get into plans. I have several plans. So many plans. One of my plans is I need to work up the yarn for July for Farmer's Daughters Fiber Sock Squad. This time I think I'm going to turn the colorway into a shawl, not a pair of socks, because I'm getting a little socked out, and I want my next pair of socks to be one of my Knit Spin Farms Targhee self-striping socks, because I'm really itching to start a Targhee sock. And Farmer's Daughters Fibers isn't Targhee, which is fine, but nor is it self-striping, which is also fine. But that's what I want to work on right now, so that will be the next sock I cast on when I am done with my work socks. It'll probably become a work sock. But yeah, so I'm probably going to turn that into a shawl, so that is something I need to work on. I want to get more work done on my Jane Rees. I don't know how far I'm going to get, but I would like to get at least the alphabets, numbers, and Roman numerals done. Knitting, I will finish my Vertices Unite, because I'm doing that for the Let's Hear It for the Boys knit along. So I need to get that done. I would love to get a good chunk done on this. I do not know if I will get the entirety of the collar done, because it's a big collar. It's a very big floofy Surrey collar. So I don't know if I'll get it all done, but I really would like to get a good chunk of it done. What else is on my list of things that I want to accomplish before the next time I see you? Which will be a longer time. I will not be here in 2 weeks. I have things going on that week, so I will not be here that week. And because of the way my schedule works, I have to come to you not that next Tuesday, because that next Tuesday I'm busy every other Tuesday. The Tuesday I don't film is the day I'm busy. So it will be a month, is what I'm saying. It'll be a month. So I will hopefully have a whole lot of progress on things. And hopefully I will have finished a few things maybe, and started a few more, and who knows. So yeah, I'm not even sure about plans. Get back to Maidens of the Seasons and get a chunk done on her legs. Maybe finish Summer. Finish a chunk on Jane Rees, like I said. Hopefully finish, no, not hopefully, do finish Vertices Unite. Hopefully get a huge chunk done on my big cozy Cardi. Probably start at least one of the sweaters I want to make. So there's about 4 sweaters that I want to make. And I've bought yarn for all of them. Or have yarn. This is a recent purchase. This is a very recent purchase. I bought this at work the other day when it was really, really hot out. And so when it's super, super hot, that is the day to buy Let Lopi. Obviously, that's how that works, is on really hot days, you want to buy Icelandic wool. Right. Anyhow, I bought a sweater's quantity of this lovely color. So gorgeous. My plan is to do a nice, boxy, oversized sweater that I can just chuck on over anything when I go out to take a walk. Kind of want it to have some sort of like stand-up-ish collar and just be boxy and oversized. So that is one that I want to start. One of the patterns I am looking at doing is a church mouse pattern. I'm blanking on the name of it. I think it's their basic sweater? Simple sweater? I don't remember the name. Anyway, that's one of the ones I'm looking at doing, is that church mouse pattern. There are a couple other patterns I am looking at doing for this as well. Because it's gorgeous. Squish, squish, squish. There's some Donegal tweed, which I don't remember where it's at. There's some Donegal tweed that I want to turn into a sweater. Again, it's going to be a nice big boxy oversized chuck it on so that I can go take a walk outside when it's cold kind of sweater. They're too warm to wear as an indoor sweater almost always. So they're nice, chuck it on, use it as a jacket kind of things. There's the ginger twist that I want to turn into. I've narrowed it down to 2 sweaters. I can't remember either one right now, but I know them if I look at them. So there's that. And then there is, I want to make another love note. That's what, 4? And then there's the Sanderson sweater that I still want to do, that I have had the yarn for years. It's back here. I will probably get some progress done on my half and half wrap, my 3rd one, because they're easy to have when you're on the go. So yeah, plans are kind of chaotic because I don't really quite know what I'm doing. I do have some stash. Yes, I have some stash. Should I have stash? No, but do I? Yes. I have the next Farmer's Daughters Fibers Sock Squad color. This is Lupin. And isn't that gorgeous? I am thinking of making a Hohi Locatelli pattern called Paris in Berlin. So that is my plan for that. I will not be using the mini, but look at that gorgeous mini. Oh, it's a good gray. And this is the gorgeous color. It is based on these beautiful picture. And that beautiful plant. So I need to kit that up. I need to wind that up and start it. I received my Roxy Floss Co. colors. So I have Grape Nut, Aubergine. Oh, Aubergine is good. And it looks like black, but you know, if it's called Aubergine, it's got to be purple. But yeah, it's not going to show that. Demerara. It's that sugar that I can never pronounce. Misto. Oh, that one's cool. Outrageous. Not outrageous, outrageous. Ooh, this is tiny print. What incarnation? Juniper. That's a good green. They're trying to fall off my leg. Ominous. Okay, that's a nice color, but I also just want to make an entire pattern using this color because ominous. just too perfect. I would love an entire Quaker done in ominous. Cloudy skies, blustery, and loose laurels. Not loose morals, loose laurels. Which might also lead to loose morals, I'm not sure. Those are my lovely, lovely things. And then I have my Be Stitch Me of the month, which was Catacombs, and I love this. I love this. It is a good color. I get her neutral colorway, and that is a lovely, lovely neutral with these green splotches and gorgeousness. Reminds me of the mold that's growing on the bones in the catacombs in Paris. Which might be what she was going for. I don't know. But bone mold probably wasn't the best name for it. Much prefer hers of catacombs. Sounds much nicer. I also picked up a piece of Murky 40 count. I'm like, what was this? Murky. Because I wanted it for something and I don't remember what right now. But it's scummy and scuzzy and I love it. And then, that needs to go over there. That needs to go over there. And then, because I have plans for next year now that I'm finalizing, focusing, and figuring out, I had to buy some stuff. Because I'm going to have a lot of new starts next year. Before my birthday, which is a number. So I'm going to do that whole start X amount of projects before your birthday to match the number that you are turning. And since my birthday's in December, the end of December, I have a whole year to do that with next year. Which is what I'm going to do. And one of the things that I wanted to start was And a Forest Grew, whatever it's called, by Rosewood Manor. And it's living in a box over there. And I've had the chart for years, but I've never kitted it up. And I started looking at it, and I was like, oh, I can just kit it from my stash of DMC. There's a lot of colors. I know other people have said this. There are a lot of colors. So I decided to just get them. Instead of kitting it up, just have somebody else pull them for me. I picked out just a 40 count white, because that's what I'm going to do it on. And then all the DMCs. Do you see them all? Do you see them all? Do you see them all? Yeah, I was lazy. And I made somebody else pull them for me. I purchased them and I paid them for that privilege. And it was worth every penny. Worth it. So worth it. Now, I wish I could pay someone to put these all on floss drops for me. Because that is going to take years. Probably longer to kit this up than it will be to stitch it up. Okay, we all know that's a lie. But, hoy, it's a lot of floss. So that's one of the things I will be starting next year. And that's, luckily, I also got some needles. Because I needed some more. So that barely counts as stash, though. Because it's needles. And, yeah, that is that. Well, let's go on to life. Life. I've told you some. I hate fireworks. I hate them when they go off until 5 a.m. even more. And, yeah, the reason I'm kind of a little scattered in the brain, you might say, today, is because before I got online, I I'm not going to say who because I was on the internet. I was on the internet, and there's a group that I occasionally go to look at to know who not to follow or support, because that entire group, they congregate together. And I know that the people who are commenting and congregating there are not my people. Let's just put it that way. We do not have things in common, and I do not want to support them. For whatever reason. But because of one of the comments that someone on that particular group said, I went, that's a little strange. And so I looked more into this person and their posts. And lost brain cells reading them. Because evidently there are no real clouds in the world. They're all man-made. There's 12 different kinds of man-made clouds. Did you know this? And chemtrails are a thing that poison us. And the government isn't allowing us to have blue skies anymore because the government is the one that is putting the clouds in the sky to poison us or control the weather or something. People. 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 This wasn't a satire. This was someone who legit believes that the government is putting man-made clouds. They, not necessarily the US government, the government, like the world is run by one government, is where we're going with this. One government is running the entire world. So the government doesn't mean the US government, doesn't mean the Canadian, it's the government. They, them. The big they, them. It's controlling the clouds in the sky. So we don't have blue sky anymore because the government doesn't want us to. And so they're putting man-made clouds, of which there are 12 kinds, in the sky. So we don't have summer. It hurt. And so I kept reading. Do you all do this? Please tell me I'm not the only one who does this. Who you fall down these rabbit holes and you're like, what? What? And you just keep going and you keep losing brain cells and you're like, how can someone... First, how can they think that there is one world government? The United States and Canada and France and Germany and the Maldives. We can't all agree on the same way to measure things. We can't agree on that. How could they all decide that they can all agree to keep a secret something that big? Humans don't work that way. We really don't. We can't agree on measurements, let alone making sure summer doesn't happen. Because the government doesn't want us to have summer. For some reason. Which really makes no sense because like Arizona is in 120 degrees right now. And if that ain't summer, I'm terrified if that's winter. But please tell me other people go into these rabbit holes and you just keep going farther because you can't believe it. Like, this has got to be a farce. There's got to be a punchline somewhere in here. Because how can someone believe those things and function? Because I can't function day to day half the time. But the clouds are rain and water vapor. Science I learned many, many, many moons ago in a science class, the water cycle. This person also doesn't believe that man landed on the moon. It was Hollywood. And that the Hubble telescope and the James Webb telescope, those are all fake too. So all the things that I think are really cool in science, like the Webb telescope and all the pictures of the galaxies that I think is amazing, they just think is fake. I think that's sad. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my crazy my I shouldn't call it crazy. They honestly believe these things, and I don't know how. I'll just leave it at that. And so my brain is kind of bleh, and who knows if I'll even leave this in. Anyhow, I went down a rabbit hole where I lost multiple brain cells. And does everybody else do that? Because I kind of hope you do, and that I'm not the only one who does that. Please tell me down below if you do that, because... And if you don't, tell me how to stop. Tell me how to stop. Because there was not enough tea in my day to get through that. There just wasn't. Anyhow, I already mentioned earlier that I will not be here in 2 weeks because I will be busy and life is a thing that is happening and I am doing life things and I will be out and about and doing real outside the house life stuff. Because evidently I'm an adult and I'm supposed to. I don't know. I don't know. Leaving the house seems like a foolish thing to do sometimes. But I will be. And because of that, I will not be able to film in 2 weeks. And as I stated, because of that, it will be a month before I come back. So it will be August. It's going to be August, people. It's going to be August before I see you next. Is that right? Well, yes, because today's the 11th. And if I'm not here for 4 weeks, that would be August. That is how time works. Whew. Right. So it'll be August when I see you next. So hopefully I'll have a lot done and I'll have beautiful things to show you all and gorgeous finishes. And hopefully I'll be even more prepared for the whole lot of starts for next year. Question. Since this is rambly enough. Question. Would people like to see the stack of things that I want to start next year for my want to start a million things? I'm not turning a million, but it feels like it. I have a birthday coming. Would people like to see? I'm going to leave some things open. I have more. I have more than that number of things kitted up, I'm sure. I'm sure I do. Yikes. That's terrifying. It's another reason why I'm wanting to start everything. But would people want to see that? Let me know. Comment below and I will let you know. And if you have any questions about anything I've talked about, I have questions. But if you have questions, ask them and I will try to answer. I will do my best. I will do my darn tootin' best to answer them as best as I can, if I'm capable. My neighbor is out playing basketball, which is fine. That was a distraction. I saw the basketball and so my eyes went that way. It's fine that he's playing basketball. It's awesome that he's playing basketball. Cool. But it was very distracting. Right. I'm gonna go because I left my brain cells somewhere in the internet and I need to go sweep them back up and put them back in my head. Right. Take care, everyone. I will see you all when I see you all, and I hope all of you are having the best day that you are capable of having right now. Take care. Bye-bye.